Hello students, you are the future chartered accountants of India. We have discussed the part 1 of residential status and scope of income, that is chapter 2, right? I am CA Abhijith Acharya. Welcome you all for today's classes. This is Abhi CA Classes, okay? Without wasting further time, we'll continue the last part of this chapter, okay? Income deemed to accrue and arise in India. What do you mean by income deemed to accrue and arise in India? That is generated in India. Any income accruing or arising to an SSE in any place outside India, whether directly or indirectly. Income accrued to an SSE in any place outside India that directly controlled through or from business connection in India. There will be a business connection in India. That means there will be some person who is controlling that the activities, right? That is called business connection in India. Or through or from any property in India, that we have already discussed in the first part of this chapter, that property is situated in India, but the income is receiving outside India, but it is accrued in India, it is generated in India, right? Or through or from any asset or sources of income in India, or through or from a transfer of capital asset situated in India. If you transfer a capital asset, that is building or any other house property, etc., from that is also deemed to accrued India because it is generated in India, right? So this is also called income deemed to be accrued or arise in India. For this, the R and OR, R and NOR and non-resident would be held responsible, held to be taxable in their hands. Okay. For that, explanation 1 to section 9, subsection 1, subclause 1 says that the above is mentioned under 911. The explanation 1 says that in the case of NR, that is non-resident, the following shall not be deemed to accrued in India. If the ROR and NOR, that above section will be applicable, whatever cases, but NR, the following cases will not be charged to in his income tax purpose. In case of business, in respect of which all the operations are not carried out in India. In case of business situated in India, for which all the activities are not carried out in India, then that's also that income will not be generated, will not be taxed in his hand, because NR only income accrued in India, received in India only taxable, right? And hence it is said that only income that is attributable to business in India is only taxable for NR. The following cases are only applicable for NR only. Keep in remember. But next, purchase of goods in India for export purpose. The one business entity is there. It is having the business of purchasing the goods only for the purpose of export. For that also, operations are confined to the purchase of goods only for the purpose of export only. Then also the income is not taxed in the hands of NR. Okay. Then collections of news and views in India for transmission out of India. Any foreign news channel is there, they came to India to collect the information, to collect the news and transmit the same information out of Indian news channel. Okay, for example, any flood is occurred in India, their agent coming to India, their news channel's agent is coming to India to collect the information and transmit the same information not in Indian channels to a foreign channels. Then also that income generated, if any income generated, is not also treated as income deemed to be accrued here for NR for them. Okay, next, shooting of cinematograph film, any films in India, if that is important, if such NR is an individual who is not a citizen of India, shooting of any films also income generated is not taxable if only if that actually if a person is an individual who should not be Indian citizen. If it is an Indian citizen, then that will be treated as his income taxed in their in the previous year. Okay. If NR is a firm, if the actual film production houses is a firm, let's assume, which does not have any partner who is a citizen or resident of India, partner should not also be a partner of Indian citizens, or partner should not be a citizen or a resident of India. A company, if that production house is a company which does not have any shareholders who is a citizen or resident of India. Understanding, right? First, shooting of films in India, income any generated is not taxable in India if only that a non-resident is, in the case of individual, he should not be a citizen of India. If it is a firm, the partner should not be a citizen or resident of India. If it is a company, then shareholders should not be Indian citizens or Indian resident. Okay, then only this income should not be treated as deemed to be in India. Next category, in case of foreign company engaged only in the business of mining of diamonds from the activities which are confined to the display of uncut or unassorted diamonds in any special zone notified by central government. Any foreign company, their main job is mining of diamonds and just to only confine to and the display of uncut diamonds or unassorted diamonds only in special zone notified by central government. And then any income generated through that is also not to be deemed as Indian income for their non-resident, because foreign companies are non-resident, let's assume, and for these categories income not to be treated as deemed to be in India. First, in respect of all the activities are not carried out in India. Second, purchase of goods only for the purpose of export. Third, collection of news and transmit the same outside India. Fourth, shooting films. If a NR is individual, should not be Indian citizen. Firm, then the partner should not be Indian citizens or Indian resident. Then company, the shareholder should not be Indian citizens and shareholders and resident. And in case of foreign company engaged in the business of mining of diamonds and display of uncut and unassorted diamonds only for the showing purpose in any special zone notified by central government, then also it should not be treated as income deemed to be accrued in India. Okay. Next, what do you mean by second category of income deemed to be India? Income from property or asset or source of income in India. Any property rent situated in India, but its income is accruing in India, but received even though that income is received. For example, I am having a building, house property, from which I am receiving a rent received directly to the foreign bank account, but it is accruing in India because it is situated in India, right? So it is satisfying the concept of generating in India. It is that income is generated in Indian building, right? So it will be treated as deemed to be accrued in India. Next, income through transfer of capital assets situated in India. If you transfer any capital, let's say that building I am going to sell, I am going to transfer, then also that that sale proceed I am going to receive in a foreign bank account. But that sale proceeds, that income is generated from Indian asset, right? And hence it is treated as income deemed to be accrued in India, irrespective of the fact of place of registration. Wherever you are registered your building, irrespective of the fact of receipt of consideration, India or foreign bank account, that I have narrated in this example. Irrespective of the place of registration, if you registered somewhere else also, but the situated in India concept will be satisfying that concept of accruing or generated in India, and hence it is treated as deemed to be accrued in India. Next, section, these concepts are clearly defined as section 9, subsection 1, subclause 1. Now, 9.1.2, salary income for services rendered in India. For services rendered in India, whether such income before or after services rendered like gratuity, pension, profit in lieu of salary in India. Salary income receiving by some other persons for services rendered in India, then that also will be treated as income for that person, irrespective of the fact whether he is a resident, residential status, irrespective of the place of his business, irrespective of his the place of domicile. Okay, the salary income for services rendered in India, then that also treated as income deemed to be accrued in India for that person, and hence it will be taxed in his hands, right? Next, section 9, section 1, subclause 3, salary received by Indian citizen from government of India for services rendered outside India. Salary received by Indian citizen from government of India, for example, government officials, let's assume, Indian citizen from government of India or government employee for services outside India. For any purpose, he has gone out of India for services for any other business purpose. The salary received by Indian citizen from government of India, that also deemed to be accrued in India, deemed to be received in India. However, Section 10 subsection 7 says that any perquisites or any allowances are exempt irrespective of the fact that individual is opting for new tax regime or old tax regime. Only salary is taxable in his hands. The government of India pays any perquisites or allowances for the services rendered outside India for to an Indian citizen, then it is fully exempt. Only salary is taxable. Perquisites and allowances are fully exempt under Section 10, Subsection 7. If he is opting for new tax regime or old tax regime, it doesn't make any difference. Well, for all the categories of people, this is exempt. Okay. Next, Section 9, Subsection 1, Subsection 4. Dividend paid by Indian company outside India. Dividend paid by Indian company. Indian means it is receiving and deemed to be received in India, and hence irrespective of the fact whether you receive outside India or inside India, that dividend is taxable in his hands. Simple. Next, 9(1) sub clause 5. If in is very critical, I will discuss this concept in brief in the suitable example, proper example, so that it will be there in your mind forever. Okay. If interest is payable by the government of India, if interest is payable, why it is payable? It is not income, but it is the income for the recipient, right? If the interest is payable by government of India to some other person, let's say for example, we have entered into a contract between government of India versus Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a NR, right? Elon Musk is a NR, but government of India and Elon Musk actually the government of India borrowed some amount from Elon Musk. Let's assume, okay. Government of India borrows from any income, actually amount from Elon Musk. For that, government of India is paying interest to Elon Musk. Then it says that if interest is payable by government of India to Elon Musk, then that interest is also deemed to be accrued in India for Elon Musk. Okay. Next, if the interest is payable by a resident person, let's assume the contract is between Mukesh Ambani and Elon Musk. Mukesh Ambani borrows a fund from Elon Musk, then the interest is payable by Ambani to Elon Musk, then that interest is also to be taxed in the hands of Elon Musk because it is an income, right? But there is one exception where money borrowed from Elon Musk by where money borrowed from Elon Musk by Mukesh Ambani is used for the purpose of business or profession carried on by Mukesh Ambani outside India, or other purpose or purpose of earning any income, that is for any other purpose other than business or profession, then this interest payable is not taxed in the hands of Elon Musk because it is not generating any income, right? If it is used for Indian purpose, Indian business purpose, then it is okay. If it is money borrowed is used for any other purpose outside India or any other business purpose, any other purpose, then there is no concept of generating in India, right? Understanding, right? If it is only borrowed for Indian purpose, then it's taxable. If it is used for outside Indian purpose, outside business of India and other purpose, then it is not taxable, right? This is the concept. Next, interest payable by NR when money borrowed and used for example, any contract between Zuckerberg and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Both are NR for the time being and always. Okay, let's assume in this previous year, Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. That means if Zuckerberg has borrowed money from Elon Musk for the purpose of business or profession, BP means business or profession carried on by him in India. Zuckerberg borrows money from Elon Musk for the purpose of business or profession in India. Then only that interest payable is taxed in the hands of Elon Musk. We are not talking about the first part. We are talking about the second part is the taxability. In this example, second part is Elon Musk. Then also that interest income will be taxed in the hands of Elon Musk. Exception is there. If such borrowed money from Zuckerberg is used for other than business purpose, other than professional purpose in India, then that interest payment is not taxed in the hands of Elon Musk. This is one very important. This last point is very important. In the second class, any other purpose or business purpose, any other purpose also inclusive. But in this, any other purpose is not inclusive, because if that borrowed amount is only should be used for Indian business or professional purpose. If it is used for any dividend investment purpose, then it is not to be taken. Investment purpose, investment in the form of shares, investment in the form of any other purpose, then it is not taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. Then such interest is treated as an income in the hands of recipient. Recipient means Elon Musk in this case. First, contract between Government of India and Elon Musk, taking a loan from Elon Musk by the Government of India and payment of interest to Elon Musk. Then Elon Musk is held taxable for that interest income. Next case, Mukesh Ambani with Elon Musk. Interest payment from Mukesh Ambani to Elon Musk only for the business purpose in India. If it is a business purpose outside India or any other purpose in India, then that borrowed interest is not taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. Third case, Zuckerberg has borrowed amount from Elon Musk, and payment of interest is to be taxed only in the hands of Elon Musk. Only that borrowed amount is utilized by the Zuckerberg only for the business or professional purpose in India. If it's used for any other purposes in India, then it is not taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. Understanding, right? If you understand this first category, then the remaining part is very simple. Remember. Next, section 9, section 1, subclause 6. The same concept. Instead of interest, it is royalty. If royalty is payable by the Government of India to Elon Musk, then the royalty is treated as income in the hands of Elon Musk. Next, a resident person. If the royalty is payable by Ambani to Elon Musk, royalty for which payment? For the utilization of any information, utilization of any other services. Okay, if the Mukesh Ambani to Elon Musk, then that will be taxed in the hands of Elon Musk, because it is his income. But exception is there where it is payable, for the transfer of any right or for use of any property or information, or for the utilization of services for the purpose of business or profession carried on by him outside India. That term is outside India is very important. Or any other purpose outside India, then that royalty payment is not taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. The same explanation that we have discussed in the interest portion also. The same concept is applicable here also. If the royalty is payable for the services for user, for the information user for the business or profession outside India or any other purpose in India, then that royalty payment is not treated as income in the hands of Elon Musk. Next, the royalty is payable by Zuckerberg to Elon Musk is only taxable in India if the transfer of any right or use of any property or information or utilization of services for the purpose of business or professional carried on by him in India or any other purpose in India. In the earlier case, interest case, that was not included. That is not included. Any other purpose is not included. That means in the interest, if the borrowed money is utilized for any other purpose, dividend that I have discussed, investment in a company for in terms of shares or etc., then that will not be taxed. That interest payment for that borrowed amount is not taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. But for the royalty for any other information is used by Zuckerberg for the business purpose also, professional purpose also, and also for the purpose of any investment purpose in the shares or dividend of any Indian company, then also that royalty payment is also taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. Understanding, right? This is one extra point. That's why I have highlighted that box. I will once again read. For the purpose of business or profession carried on by him in India or any other purpose in India. In the interest case, that was exclusive. That is exclusive. In this, it is inclusive. Okay. Inclusive means if Zuckerberg is utilizing that amount for any other purpose means excluding that business or professional purpose, that royalty payment also taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. Then such royalty is treated as income in the hands of recipient. That is in this case Elon Musk. Understanding, right? Then lump sum royalty by resident to NR for the supply, that is very important but not so important. For supply of computer services, computer software along with the computer hardware under the scheme approved by CG, that is central government, shall not be treated as deemed to be accrued in India. It is approved by central government, then it should not be treated as deemed to be accrued in India. Then it is not taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. If transfer of property is already taxable under the head of capital gain, then it is not covered again under the definition of royalty. Then if it is covered under the head of capital gain, that we will discuss further in the upcoming chapters, then the same amount will not be treated again as an income under section 9 subsection 1. 9 subsection 1 subclause 4. Okay. Then consideration for use or right to use of computer software is also covered under royalty. But if it is approved by central government, then should not be treated as an income. Okay. That in the first note. Okay. Next, royalty. What do we mean by royalty? Consideration for or including any lump sum but excluding those taxed under the capital gain. Okay. Consideration for the transfer of all or any rights, including granting. I will just read out. In respect of patent, invention, model, design, secret formula, you can just revise it. That the or consideration for the imparting of any information concerning the working or the use of patent, invention, model, design, secret formula, or process or trademark or similar property for the use of any patent, invention, model, use of any other purpose, for imparting of any information concerning technical, industrial, commercial, scientific knowledge, experience, or skills, for the use of right to use any industrial, commercial, scientific equipment, for the transfer of any all the rights in respect of copyright, literary, architecture, scientific work, including films or video caps, for the purpose of connection with the televisions or tapes for in use in connections with the radio broadcasting in India. Note, consideration for sale, distribution, exhibitions of cinematography is covered within the scope of royalty. The consideration rendering for the purpose of rendering of any services in connection with activities listed above. Okay, for these purpose, if you if you pay the royalty to that NR, then that will be taxed in the hands of Elon Musk. Okay. Next, section 9, section 1, subclause 6. If fees for technical services, the same concept. It is for fees for technical services payable by Government of India to the Elon Musk for the services of technical services availed by the Government of India from Elon Musk. Then the actual payment for that fees for FTS, in short FTS, is payable by Government of India to him is also taxable. Then resident person, that Mukesh Ambani to Elon Musk, that is also taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. Our exception is if it is used for the business or purpose outside India or any other purposes outside India, then it will not be taxed in the hands of the payment of the receipt of that FTS is not taxable in the hands of Elon Musk. The same concept as royalty. NR in respect of, that is FTS is paid by, fees for technical services is payable by NR, that is Zuckerberg, to Elon Musk for the services carried out in India only for the purpose of business or professional in India or any other purposes for the purpose of any other purpose of earning any income from any sources in India. For example, that technical services is utilized for the purpose of investing in the shares of any company, then also that dividend income or for the payment of that FTS by Zuckerberg to Elon Musk is taxable in the hands of Elon Musk, the same as royalty. If you understood that first two category, then this is very simple. Then such FTS shall be deemed to be accrued in India in the hands of recipient, that is in the case of Elon Musk. FTS means for any purpose. FTS means any consideration, including any lump sum consideration for the rendering of managerial, technical, or consultancy services. However, it does not include consideration for any construction, assembly, mining, or like any project undertaken by the recipient, or consideration which would be income of the recipient chargeable under hands of salaries. Okay, this is will be detailed. In detail we will discuss in salary chapter. Okay, FTS means we have understood. Next, last section of this deeming concept. Section 9, section 1, subclause 8. Any sum of money arised outside India, paid by a resident to NR. I am a resident I am paying any sum of money raised outside India to NR or foreign company or R and NOR would be deemed to be accrued in India if such amount if to be deemed to be accrued in India if such amount received by those NR or foreign company exceeds 50,000 under section 56 to 10. What you may 56 to 10 we'll discuss in detail in under the chapter of income from other sources. This is the fifth head of income. Any sum of money arised outside India payable by resident to NR or foreign company or R or NOR, then it will be treated as income accrued in India in the hands of that recipient if that amount payable is more than 50,000 under section 56 to 10. Okay, this is the last concept. From this we will wind up this chapter, that is residential, but that I will mention, I forgot to mention that note. This provision is not related to any property. However, this provision is not applicable to any property, movable, immovable process. It talks about only money paid, only money concept. It is not related to any property, any other purpose. It is only talking about only amount payable outside India. Okay. From this, we have completed the second chapter successfully. If you have any doubt, make sure that you have mentioned your doubts in the comment section. You can reach out to me in the mail ID, LinkedIn, Instagram. I have provided the link in the description box, and I hope you have enjoyed the journey, and please revise it again and again because it is treated as B category chapters, and hope you have understood everything. And signing off, see Abhijith Acharya, Abhi CA Classes. We will see in the next upcoming chapter, that is salary. That's the first head of income, salary. Okay, till then, bye bye. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.